Hello there, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. Today we're going to work on project number 3 in the Fond of Autumn Coco and Crafts class. And for those of you who are new to my channel, this is a kit that I put together each month, and then each week we put together one of the 4 projects in that kit. And this is the card we're going to make today. It is a fun little, it has a fun fold on the inside. If you can see that it opens like this, and the purpose of that, this has actually been die cut out with vellum behind, and then you can get one of these tea light candles, and it's hard, you can't see it when it's like this. There we go. You can see the light will shine through the little holes in the die cut, which is kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this project. As usual, your kit comes with 2 of everything. So you can make 2 of those cards. However, I am only going to make 1 on camera. Let me pull this out of the way. And so I just need an envelope, which we're going to stamp on. Vellum we will need later. I need 1 of everything here. There's a rectangle of our crumb cake. There are some die cut pieces that are scored and die cut. You'll need that. And then, of course, the soft succulent base. So I have 1 of everything here. Set it to one side. Put the rest away for later. And you also came with a full sheet of basic white. This is what I have left from our previous projects. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now remember, when you do yours, do 2 of everything. I'm only going to do 1. And so you're going to ink up. The Memento ink was not included in this kit. You just need a basic black, but you will need one that is at least water resistant, if not waterproof. Waterproof would be even better. Memento is a water resistant. As long as it is very dry, it won't bleed too much onto your paper or when you get it wet. So here I'm going to go ahead and try to get my head out of the way. Stamp that down. There we go. Ooh, nice image. Then you also want a couple of the leaves and 1 of the acorns for each card. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp these along the side here. Move that aside. And an acorn. And then you can decide what you want on your envelope. I'm going to set this aside for a second. I think I'm going to do I want to do an acorn or a leaf? I think I'm going to do an acorn in the bottom corner, just like that. And that is really, oh, it's not quite all the stamping. We also need to stamp on this rectangle of crumb cake. We're going to stamp the word thank you in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to go ahead. I love this font. It's kind of fun. Make sure I'm straight. It looks like I'm going in about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch in, maybe 1/2 an inch in. There we go. And our stamping is finished for this card. So let me put this away. Now, as I mentioned, you want this to dry really well before you do any coloring on it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in, show you that I did some coloring on this one already. I've already colored in my leaves and my acorn here, and cut them out. Now when we cut out for our last 2 projects, we used this die here, which cuts it into 4 separate pieces. Today we're going to use this die, which cuts the whole image out as 1 solid piece. This is the one you want to use today to cut out that the big image. So what I'm going to do right now, though, is go ahead and color in. And actually, this is all you need to color on this one, because this is going to be totally hidden inside here. But for demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I colored these here. Let me grab out my inks really quick. Okay, for this card, I used Petal Pink, Soft Succulent, and Crumb Cake. And I believe I also used Soft Suede on the top of the acorn caps right here, which I can do that. What did I stamp on? Oh, I did. I stamped that on the envelope, so I can do that on there. All right, let me move these before I lose them. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll leave that there so you can see my coloring. So to do the coloring, I didn't use blends on this. I actually used ink from the pads. And the easiest way to do that is to pick up your, open up your ink, and then you just grab one of our blocks. I like to use a small one just because, I don't know, I just do. Get a little bit of color in one corner. And then I'm going to use our aqua pen and squeeze and drop a little bit of water on one corner, the opposite corner to where my ink is. There we go. And then I'll pull in some of this color into that water. But I want to leave some of the color here without the water on. I want to leave that full strength. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with these petals and just brush some of that color right onto the petal. And then after I've done a couple of them, I don't have to do all of them, but do a couple, come in with some of the full strength and go in here at the base and let that color blend into the lighter, the watered down color. There we go. So you're going to do that for, basically for everything. That's how you do it. You just use a little bit of watered down color to fill in and then come in with the full strength color to create shadows and shading. So like I said, I used the petal pink on my flowers and on my berries. I used soft suede on these leaves. I used crumb cake on these leaves with a little bit of, yeah, crumb cake was on these leaves, and then the soft suede is the cap of here. Now for the bottom of it, I'll show you how I did that. Let me pull in this little guy here. Let me get my crumb cake. And again, just going to put a little bit of color. Pull in some of that crumb cake. I'm sorry, soft suede, not crumb cake. Now if you have too much color on your brush, you can, if it's too wet, you can brush it off like that. But I'm going to go ahead and fill in my cap with some color. And then I'm going to come in with the full strength down here and just kind of create some shadows where all those little divots are. Let it bleed around. Oh, I need to clean this off really quick because I need some crumb cake. Just a little bit of crumb cake. Because what I'm going to do for the base of it is I'm actually going to come in with our petal pink again. And I didn't even clean that brown off. And then I'm going to grab some of the crumb cake to use as a shadow to give it a little bit more brown rather than pink color. I need to get some of that brown off so I can get some more pink on here. There we go. Kind of changes the shade of the acorn a bit. So there you go. So the base of the acorn is kind of a mix of petal pink and crumb cake together. Alright, let me put my inks away. We'll let those dry and get on to the fun parts. Actually, all of it's fun. I enjoy all of it. But I do need to put these away or I will ink something up. Alright, so now what we're going to do, and I'm sure some of you have seen this technique. I've seen it on quite a few, on Pinterest and online where other people have done this kind of a torn, rolled back look, and I really love it. And this is the first time I've actually had a chance to kind of play with it. So what I'm going to do is about, what does that look like? 1.25 inches in from this edge. I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to gently tear. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to kind of figure out how far in do I want to go. I want to go so that this leaf is sticking out. So let me grab a pencil here and just kind of mark this spot right here. So I want to tear all the way to there. And then, let's see, what does that look like? It's about 1 inch, a little over 1 inch. So then I'm going to do the same thing here and tear this part up. And then I'm going to roll this. Now I did find that it works a little bit better if I first kind of break the fibers with my bone folder. I also found that you don't need this entire length. So I am going to go ahead, let me see, I've got a skinny paintbrush here. I'll just roll it around the paintbrush. Roll the whole thing in here. But then I found I didn't need it that thick, so I can actually cut off about half of this piece of paper. And then just roll the rest of it on there. And then I'm going to use a couple of glue dots. Let me grab my glue dots here. Where's the end? There they are. Grab my... And I'm just going to stick a glue dot here. Now you can use liquid glue if you want. I'm going to use glue dots because it'll dry. Obviously I don't have to wait for dry time. I don't have to sit and hold it. I am going to get this nice and tight. Re-roll it back up onto those dots. And there we go. We're finished. Ta-da! Now let's get all my extra tools out of the way here. So that part is ready to go. Now let's go ahead and start assembling the rest of our card. Let me get this out of the way. You have a piece of vellum, and actually I should have already scored it for you, but I did not. So let's go ahead and mark it. What I'm doing right now is I have it centered between these two score lines that I've already put on, and I'm going to mark the center, and then I'm going to pull in my scoring tool really quick. And if you don't have a scoring tool, you could just simply fold it. The scoring tool just helps to get it nice and smooth. There we go. Don't push too hard or you will break through your vellum, and you don't want to do that. And then I'm just going to fold it on that line. There we go. And we don't have to fold this super tight. See, it holds its shape already. You may also find on this that there are a few pieces you might need to pull out. Push them out with a tool. This one is has a lot of detail to it, so there was a lot of little pieces to get out of there. Oh, I missed one. There it is. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines. Now this middle one you're going to fold back, and then the other two are going to fold in the opposite direction. And I am going to go ahead and use my bone folder and give that a really good burnish. This part you got to be a little gentle with. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the inside, the back side here. And so it looks like I have plenty of space top and bottom for some adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my tape runner and go ahead and run some right across the top here and down here. And then set that in the center. And I'm just going to put one side down first. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold this onto it. And that helps so that when you close it up, everything lines up properly. There we go. So there we have our little insert part. I'm going to go ahead and fold our card base. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the front on and then the inside, I think. Yes, I don't think it really makes a huge difference. So now's the fun part. You have to kind of figure out where you want this to go in here, how you want it to look. And see, it looks like I did not tear mine quite as far back as I wanted to. I need to tear it a little bit more. Or what I can do is cut up into my leaf area like that. Haha. There we go. Basically what I'm trying to do right now is get it so that make sure none of my leaves stick out, so this will fit inside my envelope. Because I don't like it when my cards don't fit in my envelopes very well. I am going to tear this over a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this part that I know is going to be tucked inside. Go ahead and get this where I want it. Whoops, come on, you need to go inside there. And then stick that down so that it's going to adhere to this. And now I can, this part's going to be a little tricky because you got this bump of paper there. You just work your way around it. And then I want to make sure we get everything adhered down, so I am going to try and hold it and run across that. There we go. Okay, now, again, this one has a very, very fine edge. There's not a lot of border there to go around. Make sure you've got it pretty even before you start putting things down. And there's our front finished. Okay, and then open up the inside. And this also has a little bit of a border, you can see. So I'm going to put adhesive on just one side to begin with. Just this opposite, or this one rectangle here. Let's see, where's the front? This is the top, that's the top. So this is my back piece. And then I'm going to line that up, making sure I'm even here. Set that down, and then go ahead and fold it. Put your adhesive on this part, and then just close your card onto that. And it should be perfectly lined up. Yay! And then the last thing we're going to do is, I thought the inside needed a little bit more. I loved this. But, and I want to have room to sign or to write something. So we're just going to add a few little leaves and an acorn to the inside. Excuse me. There we go. So, and I'm just going to use some of our multi-purpose glue for that. So let's put one of these down in this bottom corner right here. And then let's put a leaf and an acorn in this top corner. Come here, acorn. Oh, I just dropped it on the floor. Got it. Thankfully it landed glue side up. Let's wiggle you around. I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm doing on the camera. This thing's kind of getting in the way here. There we go. It doesn't open all the way. So there we have our finished card and envelope. And you can gift it as is. I mean, I think it looks pretty even just like that. But if you want to, when you send it, if you want to give them a little tea light to set down inside there, how pretty is that? Kind of fun. All right, well, that's it for today's card. I look forward to coming back to tomorrow, actually, with our last project. So until then, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.